Alright then, I'm off. Look out for cars! Be back before dinner time! Today was the day of the barbecue party that was the Hinamizawa Fighters' victory celebration. Of course, I, having prepared myself, skipped breakfast in order to stay hungry. Though with all the club members coming, it was pretty possible that there would be a contest based on how fast or how much you could eat. Rena was already at our usual meeting place. Mion arrived a few minutes later. Great! Let's get going! This old man skipped breakfast and is starving to death. I expected nothing less. I too went without breakfast, and now I'm in top physical condition. Wow, you two skipping breakfast is bad for your health! Rena made sure to eat something. It's true. It's better to eat something before you eat a lot, actually. Yeah, you're great, Rena. Breakfast is an important part of the day. I'm sure you'll suppress that unhealthy Mion and get yourself a nice body. Okay. Oh. If I get a nice body, then maybe a prince on a white horse will come for Rena too? Man, who else do I know has a similar personality type to Rena and also wants a prince on a white horse? I'm not referencing anything. Definitely not happening. If you won't take responsibility for them, K-chan, then you don't give Rena any silly ideas. She might start eating breakfast 3 times a day starting tomorrow. Yeah, I could see Rena doing that. Wait, who did this gluttonous princess think was coming to come for her? Well, anyway, we're all nice and hungry. Let's go and treat ourselves to the big barbecue party. Yeah! The venue for the said barbecue was set to be the Furude Shrine Grounds where Rika lived. They held events and festivals there and barbecues too. It was the place that held all sorts of ceremonies in Hinamizawa. Come to think of it, there was supposed to be a big village festival coming up, wasn't there? Watanagashi or something? The scenery you could see from high up was fairly superb, and the calm atmosphere, particularly to shrines, was something fairly difficult to find in the city. We left our bicycles at the bottom of the shrines and broke into a mad dash up the stairs. When we arrived on the shrine grounds, the Hinamizawa fighters and their fathers had already gathered and begun setting up for the barbecue early. Of course, Sadako and Riko were there as well. When they noticed our arrival, they waved to us.
Oh, so you managed not to forget about this! Curses, if you hadn't all come, there would have been much more meat for me. How truly disappointing it is.
You underestimate us, Sadako. Now that we've arrived, you don't think you'll be able to even have one bite of that fabulously marbled beef, do you? Remember when we ate our bento here? You and I had a fatal difference in reach. I'll be overwhelming you once again.
What? I cannot allow that to happen by any means.
Cry and shout all you want. You'll just be watching us fill our mouths with beef. Don't worry, though. We'll give the peppers and onions to you.
I'll give Sadako lots and lots of grilled squash, too.
When Sadako heard the word squash, her complexion changed color. When she took my overwhelming reach into account, she knew it wasn't just a threat. It could actually happen. I'll go tell the coach. I'll tell him you really love squash. If it's for you, I bet he'll get a whole mountain of specialty squash from all over Japan. Wow, good for you, Sadako. You'll have your pick up the squash. You can have a squash from dawn till dusk, 3 meals a day.
Rena, everyone's bullying me.
Sadako tried to leap into Rena's chest. Oh no, clearly given another second, Rena's mock punches would have piled us on the ground. So just before Sadako hit Rena, I grabbed her by the nape of the neck and pulled her back. A superb reaction with only seconds of foresight. At least it was supposed to be. But for Rena, when I caught the leaping, crying Sadako, it looked like I was keeping her to myself.
No, Keiji. This is Rena's, okay? I'm taking her home. Oh, Rena. Beat up me and Enrico like that, too.
Whoa, hold on there.
Ah! Okay, now where could Rika be? There she is. Rena over there. Just wait, Sadako. I'll
Sadako laughed in a shrill voice at Rika and Rena's unproductive game of tag while we watched them sprawled about on the ground. So, the squash, it can be like kabocha squash, yeah. So, Sadako doesn't like that type of like pumpkin-looking thing. It's like greenish or whatever. Anyway, are you alright, Maibara? Sonozaki? The coach came over and lent us a hand. Yeah, this is just how we communicate, that's all. Don't mind us. If the way we communicate ends up leaving bruises on my face, then I don't want any more to do with it. You never learn, do you? The coach laughed loudly. It made us start to laugh too. Sadako's laughter, Rika's yelling, and Rena's strange voice were kind of comfortable to hear. Oops. The adults here knew what they were doing, so the barbecue was already in order. As the salad oil dripped down to the plate with a hiss, there was a loud cheer. When the coach brought over a big plate with all the meat in it, we cheered again.
Wow! This meat looks amazing! Coach, you really did splurge on it!
I did make a promise. Can you tell how much all this weighs? It really did cost me a lot.
Of course it did! Third-rate meat wouldn't be enough of a reward for everything I did yesterday! Yeah, Sadako's definitely the guest of honor today!
Yeah, Sadako was the only one who hit that last home run after all. She might have caught that guy off guard, but the arc it flew was long and true.
Sadako is pretty athletic.
Not bad at all. She could be one of the best of our generation. She doesn't fall behind in physical ability, even compared to me.
Maybe Sadako has a big future in the world of sports. Stop singing my praises. You're making me blush.
Sadako, for whom the excessive praise made her not notice the moderately grilled meat being stolen one after another, was just far too cute. Maibara! This is heavy! Tomita and Okamura were carrying something over to us. It was a huge barbecue plate. Whoa! The barbecue's protagonist has arrived! The plate was chock full of skewers with vegetables and meat on them. The grilled, burning hot meat juices made a shh noise as they drizzled off. Oh, come on. You need a lot of heat for cooking something on a metal skewer, so they had grilled the whole plate at once. Yep. Can't have a barbecue without some of these. You say that again, I'll help out, so let's get it over here. Up we go.
Wow, look, it's amazing!
Everyone greeted us with a cheer. Each person received a skewer with vegetables and big pieces of meat on it. They also received paper cups filled to the brim with juice. In my right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. In the left was a cup of juice that I could chug down. If this didn't make you want to dance, you aren't a man! I can't hold it back any longer! I'm gobbling it down! Not just yet, Kei-chan. We've got a little ceremony first. Can I have your attention, everyone? The coach with a cup of beer in his hand mounted the nearby beer cooler. This is supposed to be a victory celebration after all. We needed an opening statement. Damn! I hope it ends soon. For every second this goes on, a little more of the food's freshness goes away! Sako stomped down to the back of my foot.
My word! Men your age are so greedy! Can you not wait a little more elegantly?
Is everything I'm thinking really showing on my face? Okay, is everyone listening? We won a huge game yesterday. It had become a hard battle after that amazing pitcher came in. But thanks to equally reliable saviors on our side, we scored a beautiful turnaround victory. Both my hands were full, so the adults and elder brothers gave us a round of applause. This is to celebrate that victory. As promised, I got tons of delicious meat for everyone. Eat as much as you want and use that energy on our next game. And then, after a few words of thanks to the fathers and brothers who helped with the barbecue, he led us in a toast. Cheers! They say that when toasting, you would normally throw down the contents of your cup. But we were young. At the toast, all of us immediately began to dig into our skewers. Oh, man. After that, it got really lively with everyone congratulating one another for things they did during the game. Like how someone made a great catch, or how awesome someone looked stealing a base. Of course they congratulated me too. The savior appeared to fight against the Koshian pitcher. Well, even what I did was all thanks to Sadako. Sadako did have a plan, but you're the only one who could have won Kameda over like you did, Kei-chan. You did more than enough to deserve praise.
By the way, Keiichi, you went to eat cake with Kameda after that, didn't you? You look like you were best friends.
The seeds of friendship sprouting between male rivals? Something like that?
That's sort of... well, it's...
Oh my god. I violently brushed through Rena's hair as she turned red in the face for some reason at the mention of friendship between males, dispersing her pleasantly seeming ideas. Now then, where's the hero, or rather the heroine, Sadako? Oh! There she is! Sadako was with Rika in the middle of bragging her heart out about the home run yesterday. And her teammates spared no compliment for her, since even though he was going easy on her, the fact that she hit a throw from a Koshian pitcher was something else. Sadako was more loquacious than usual. It seemed she was in a great mood. She was flying so high I thought for a moment about getting a word in to tease her. But she was the leading actress today, so I decided not to bully her at all. As I watched Sadako going through things as lively as usual under the sun, it struck me that it didn't quite line up with the pleasant time I'd spend with her. But both of those were the real Sadako. I didn't care which it was, her smiling happily or making a big lively fuss like this, just as long as she would keep smiling like this forever. Okay, here's the creepy part with creepy Irie. Okay, I'm gonna try to read this as normal, but if anything pops up that I don't like, I'm just going to... She looks like she's having fun. Quite a lot of it. The coach had approached me from behind before I realized it. As he gazed from Sadako from afar, like I had been doing, he'd addressed me. So I could tell he was talking about her. Doesn't it just cleanse your soul to see Sadako smiling? What? Really? I don't think her smile could cleanse so much as a plate. Mr. Irie, was it? That's right. Everyone else calls me Coach, though. I'd be very happy if you called me Coach as well, my bra. As he said that, Coach Irie smiled, blushing a little. Coach, you seem a... Okay, yeah, this is the part I... Nope. Nope. No. I heard this coach guy was the kind of person who said crazy things out of nowhere. According to Mion, if I took everything he said seriously, I physically wouldn't be able to take it. Let's hope that is just a joke. I don't know. I'm just not... No. Oh my god. What the hell? After that, I received many words of praise for my actions, almost too many. As the conversation was happening, leaving that aside the controversial statements this coach person would spout suddenly. He's creepy. Yeah. I think Sadako deserves more praise for that crazy home run she got. I honestly didn't think she had it in her. Sadako's older brother was more of the quiet bookworm type. She probably inherited the exact opposite skill set. Her brother? Oh right, Satoshi. The one who left Sadako and ran away from home. Sadako's Nini. Hojo Satoshi. Do you not know him? Sadako's older brother, I mean? His name is Hojo Satoshi. He played with the Hinamizawa Fighters, too. I wanted to watch him play a lot more, but he transferred. Huh? I see. So he transferred. Now, maybe that was a little more considerate than saying he ran away. Now that he mentioned it, I think it was Rena. She mentioned that Satoshi transferred too. I didn't know the details of him having run away from home at the time. so I didn't pay much attention to it, but... Only her brother transferred? That's sort of unusual. Everyone was having fun far away, their cheerful voices distant. The chorus of the cicadas separated us from them, giving me a sense of distance. At first I thought my own voice was too soft for even me to hear, but for a really long time, Coach didn't respond to my words, so at this point I began to wonder if I had said something I shouldn't have. Just when I began to feel impatient, the coach finally spoke. Something unfortunate happened. A few things, actually. After informing me what he was about to say was a secret, Coach began to talk a little at a time. It's been 3 years already. Right around this time of year, I think. Saku's parents were in an accident. An accident? Yes. At a public park they visited on a vacation, they fell from the viewing platform. It was just supposed to be a little time away from the house with the family. We went for a walk on the path through nature park after it rained. There was a little viewing platform that looked like it had a good view. That was the stage on which the tragedy was set. The metal fixtures in the viewing platform fence had deteriorated from time, and with all the rain they had just gotten, they might have loosened somewhat. Right before Sadako's eyes, both the fence and her parents fell. There is a river some tens of meters below. The water level was high due to the rain, apparently very muddy. And her parents? Coach gave a thin but melancholic smile. He touched his paper cup to his lips. Without saying anything, I knew how unfortunate the accident was, and how Sadako's parents had left on an internal vacation. Then Sadako is... well... I was so focused on being careful with my words that I lost what I was going to say. A single word. Orphaned. I knew how little consideration it showed and how much it would hurt Sadako without having to say it aloud. Come to think of it, Sadako lived with Rika. At least that's what I thought I heard from others. Wait, Rika. Her father died from illness too, and her mother soon after. I felt like I heard she was living by herself. Yes, she's living with Furude right now. They probably lived many discouraging days without any parents, but they've gotten along by helping each other. Going on living without the protection of parents is very difficult for kids that age, I think. My bro. You can probably understand that as well. I've only survived because I relied on my parents, so the only reply I could give was to nod. Furude is particularly beloved by the older people in the village. As long as she's here, she won't want for much. Come to think of it, you're right. Rika kind of seems like the village mascot sometimes. I don't think she'd have a hard time living here. Rika could go me just once and get 2 or 3 croquettes from a vendor after all. I feel like if she asked for help, everyone in the village would. But that only applies to Furude in particular. Sadako doesn't have it the same way. Rika being so spoiled was just an exception. So in other words, Rika is like the princess. Upon thinking about it normally, living on your own as a child should be fraught with difficulty. It wasn't then very difficult to imagine how much suffering Sadako had to go through just to live. It wasn't very difficult to imagine. Was I really thinking that? No. I was only thinking the words. I couldn't imagine it in the slightest. How was I supposed to imagine it when I saw that annoying smile of hers? There's no way I could. When I found out she was living apart from her brother, and I kind of just vaguely thought that it was rather unfortunate. I mean, Sadako was smiling so energetically every single day. Was I thinking that her smiling meant she wasn't hurt? That she didn't feel lonely? When she found out my parents were coming home the other night, Sadako said, "A family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal of all." Those words held a lot more weight now. I've seriously considered adopting her. Don't! Huh? Adoption? It's a secret. After warning me, Coach put his index finger to his lips. I lived a really steady life all these years. I own property and I have credit. But marriage is the one thing I never got around to. By law, obviously, a single individual can't adopt a child. So I can't make Sadako my adopted daughter. Okay, so if we could have just wrote that part out, if Irie wasn't so creepy, we could just say that, yeah, he could be a good person, and that he wished for Sadako to be happy. I don't know. I just wish that wasn't in there. It makes it uncomfortable, so. Sadako's current lifestyle is probably not a very happy one, but you know, I want to make it easy for her, if it's only a little. Of course, I can't do much for her, but share my leftover food or do errands that she's not strong enough to do. You're wrong. Sadako's happy. Huh? Coach shows surprise at my having declared that. There are so many people all around her that really want her to be happy. She can't possibly feel otherwise. I spoke with a serious expression quietly, but firmly all the same. Makes me wonder why Rika did something and Go and Sotsu! Anyway, it was my approval of his feelings and my gratitude that as Sadako's Nini. Thank you. Still, keep this a secret from Sadako, okay? If she knew I wanted to. Ew. Okay, no thanks. No, he is creepy, okay? I really wish that Ryukishi didn't write that into the thing. It's kind of a shame, but whatever. It kind of is for... Okay, anyway. It wouldn't be odd for her... Wait, hold on. I think I accidentally... Oops, yeah. Okay. Her parents and her older brother. She lost her family and had no relatives, and was hauled up with Rika, who was in the same situation. Hojo Sadako. It wouldn't be odd for her to look at life with despair, but she didn't seem to feel that way, as she lived energetically with a smile. I want to keep her smiling forever. It was naive, a wish, and yet it was one he couldn't help hoping for. So the words I spoke were the same. What a coincidence! I think the same way. Oh, you too, Myra. That makes us friends. Let's make a promise. A promise? It's a very simple one. The coach said this, giving me a grin. That we will never, ever make her cry. It was short and to the point. Yeah, I promise too. Coach nodded happily. We exchanged no more words after that. We just sat there comfortably, gazing at Sadako and everyone else having a good time. She was certainly lost family, but there were people watching over her. Reassuring must that have been. Just hypothetically, if you did adopt Sadako, what would you do? That's a tough one. Well, first, I would get her to call me master and re-educate her in the ways of a maidservant. Huh? What? How is this guy always picking the craziest time to say the craziest things? Mybara? I haven't said anything yet. What are you talking about? I heard it very loud and clear. Oh, that's right. I clearly said I would put Sadako in a wooden... what? What? Shion, what? What? I'm sorry. Why would they do... Shion, what the hell? Okay, no. My hand shot and grabbed Shion, smiling, waving, and about to leave by the nape of her neck. Hey, right there! Don't just show up out of nowhere and start saying crazy stuff! Speaking of saying crazy stuff, I thought the love talk Sadako you were having with Coach was pretty crazy too. I can perform a reenactment of the adoption bit. Wanna see? You've been hiding ever since then? Kei-chan, you can't even beat my sister. You're 100 years too early to challenge me. This was Sonozaki Shion, the younger sister of the Sonozaki twins. Though she hadn't had a scrape of her reserve quality you would expect from a little sister, she was a villain, no better than her older sister, Mion. We met the other day in town. I dug myself into a hole, and I mistook her for Mion. I like Mion. Shion said she was living in Okinomiya, so I thought we'd never see each other again. But to think we actually would! My frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. This must be what people mean when they say something is like water off a duck's back. Shion, you came! I was a bit disappointed because I thought you would make it. Well, I couldn't think of anything else to do, really. I figured I'd come and tease you all a little. Coach, why'd you need to call Shion to our victory celebration? How does she contribute to our team's win? Well, you see, I'm actually the manager for the Hinamizawa Fighters. The manager? No way, then why weren't you at the game yesterday? That's because I'm like a ghost manager. She seemed to think I'd forgive her if she stuck out her tongue and smiled. She wasn't sorry at all. The match wasn't nearly as pretty without you there. I won't tell you to come to practices, but could you at least come to the games to root for us like you used to? I'll think about it. Maybe if I will, if Kei-chan joins the Hinamizawa Fighters. I can't get into a good cheering mood when there's no good-looking guys on the team. Huh? I wouldn't say Keiichi's very good-looking. He's just very average. Did Shion just smoothly say something absurd? Shion! You little! Where'd you come from? Suddenly, Mion came over, latched onto my shoulder, and pulled me toward her. It's Mii-chan's little sister! Hello, Shi-chan! Hello, Rena. I'm honored you remembered my name. We only met once. Oh, not at all! Thanks for remembering Rena's name, too! Cut the stupid greetings! You're not allowed to solicit Kei-chan! He's the hope of our club! Don't pull him out and put him in the baseball like he's some kind of plant! Mion gave a low growl as she grappled my arm. She looked like a little girl desperately clinging to her toy. Yep, Keiichi's the star rookie of our club. We can never trade him away. Rena's smile hid a nonchalant bloodthirst. She was blocking Shion's way, ready to unleash an ultimate attack if she got within 2 meters of me. I felt like this was going to turn into a bloody battle. That's too bad. We'll leave the negotiations for another time. You don't have the right to negotiate! Coach, why'd you call Shion here too? She's a ghost member. She's been slacking off for the last year. I just thought it would be even more fun if Shion was here. Yep, it definitely worked. That was what he planned for all along. Mission accomplished. Hey, Kei-chan, come over here. We're playing a game. With strings attached, of course.
Shi-chan, how about you? The rules are simple and it'll be fun.
Should I? I'll just win if I join in after all. I don't want to ruin my sister's presidential image. Mio, now irritated, turned around with a glare. What is it, my sister? Should I join in to make this game a battle of the siblings? For your sake, I don't think we should, but if you want to... I want to let you play, Shion! We're leaving you out! Whoa. Mio just avoided a direct confrontation. It seems like the twins were completely incompatible with each other.
You won't let her play? I was looking forward to seeing you two face off.
I hate Shion! I'm bad against her! An angry Mio jagged me away. Slide. Do your best. I'll be rooting for you. Go for it, Kei-chan. Yay! Shion waved her hands at us, reveling in the bliss of teasing Mion. Alright, club activity. activities had begun, which mean I needed to clear my mind. Oh, it's today's battle, today's punishment game. I'd take anything on.
Okay, Keiji, you should prepare yourself. We're going all out today.
Great, bring it on. Sadako or not, I'll crush you all mercilessly.
Rena will profit from your battle and fish herself up with a win. Then I'll get all the manta rays first and hide them to victory. Rika's fly like a manta ray. I want to take you home.
Okay, everyone. We have a lot of people today, so let's play something easy and simple. Today's game is... Everyone who lost the game dropped out and had to help clean up after the barbecue. Shion laughed even more uproariously than anyone I'd ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay, was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny? Oh man, Kei-chan's face! He was like, how can you still call yourselves human? Damn it! I had it all worked out when I brought up the scissors! If only Sadako and Rika hadn't betrayed me! It was going great while we had maintained a united front, but Sadako had been quicker to betray me than I her. She was just a tiny bit better than me. Ugh! I warned you about trusting Sadako. Tomita and Okamura were unanimously wearing I told you so faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Sadako's traps pretty early on as well. Damn, I was trying to do well enough to make up for you two. And once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet. You were going to have the lowest ranked member of the club play a punishment game, weren't you? Wait, Shion remarked, as though forcing me to recall something I'd try to forget even for a moment. Is that right? Come to think of it, Mybara, when you came with the punishment game with the president, you looked really heated up. What on earth did you decide on? Earlier, Mion told me to get an Angel Mart uniform ready. Does that have anything to do with it? You told me to get the biggest size I could find. Tomiya and Okamura were giving these complex, indescribable looks, mixing empathy, pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. All she could do now was laugh. Strangely enough, the more she laughed, the more I felt like it was actually funny. Ah, I lost! Oh my bro, what's the matter? You're smiling, growling, and howling. It's okay, he's just pretending not to like it. He can't hide his excitement of the opportunity to gain valuable experience using the punishment game as an excuse. Right? What do you mean, valuable experience? I held my head and hands in agony. My state of mind could be summed up with the three-letter word. It was... Coach gently put his hand on my shoulders. Was he comforting me? Mybara, in times when you must accept hardship, you should imagine that you're a domesticated maid. See? Don't sadistic things seem kind of fun now? Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Ran the face and indulging his imagination, still holding my shoulders. Coach said, "Oh, master," and started twirling around like a ballerina. I had to wonder what kind of word associations he had going on in his head. At the very least, it was much different than what was in mine. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of domestication certainly isn't maids. Tomita, Okamura, your coach is pretty funny. I'm surprised he can even be a coach. What the hell? Is he saying something creepy? This is just flying over my head! I might be 28, but I don't know. Maybe I should not read Irie's lines sometimes. What the hell? Why does he have does he have eye bags or ageoso or something? So he's still washing dishes, basins, stuff. Here you go! A sponge and dish soap. You can't wash them with just water. It was Shion. She threw a brand new sponge and container filled with cleaner to me. Oh, thanks! You should just put them by the basins and leave it to the grown-ups. You're always doing the right thing. I got the feeling that wasn't quite a compliment. I answered her with a forced smile. I was surprised to learn that you're the manager for the Hinamizawa Fighters. I thought you didn't do stuff like that because it was too much of a bother. Yes, it is quite a bother. That's why I stopped showing up entirely. Didn't Coach City want you to come back? You should play it visit once in a while. If I feel like it, I guess. Shion made it sound like it was the end of the world could happen before she felt like it. Oops. I couldn't keep washing the dishes while preoccupied with conversation. I decided to take my task seriously. Shion neither offered to help nor got in my way. She just quietly watched the water flowing from the faucet. Oh, right, I heard something. You were the star player in yesterday's game, weren't you? Sadako hit the home run, so I think she was the real star player. I didn't know she had those kind of reflexes. It surprised me. She's totally different from Satoshi. There's not much to doubt that all the athletic ability in the family went to her. Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence. Pay attention to this. I thought Higurashi has some very important hints. Satoshi? Hojo Satoko's older brother. You know, Hojo Satoshi? Oh, right. You just moved here this year, didn't you, Kei-chan? You wouldn't have ever met him. I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi. Never met him, but I knew a little. After their parents passed away, he transferred to a different school, right? I avoided saying he ran away from home and used the slightly more vague words that everyone else did. Transferred? Who said anything like that? I hadn't yet realized that Shion's tone had changed slightly. Well, I mean, who was it then? Yeah, I heard it from someone. That he transferred. Who? You said that because you asked someone, right? Who did I ask? I don't really remember. Even so, he transferred, so that's it, right? Not like there's a problem with it. There is one. Does that mean there's a record of his transfer to another school and that someone saw it or heard about it? Around that time, I not only noticed how awfully caught up on this Shion was, but also how startlingly dangerous her eyes had begun to look. Shion? What's up? You look really serious. With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath and pretended to fix her hair and went back to her composed expression from before. I'm sorry, but Kei-chan, you don't know much about Satoshi, so please don't say that he transferred or something like that. I'm serious. Please. I realized I must have said something I shouldn't have, but I wasn't immediately sure of what I should apologize for, so I just said one safe word for now. Sorry. I just sort of heard he transferred and believed it. Was it actually something else? It was, of course. Perceived by his parents, he had left his sister and ran away. But I wanted to try and avoid using the words "run away," so I pretended not to know. Upon seeing my flustered reply, Shion realized she was intimidating me and lowered her voice. I'm sorry. I'm not blaming you for anything, Kei-chan. I was just being a little harsh. I apologize. I didn't really mind. That was a fib. I was actually a little scared even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Was there some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? But before I could ask her, she turned on her heel to leave. Hey, Shion! Right, good luck with those. Looks like your plate is last. That's the last one you should need to wash. Her final remark reminded me of the dishes I had easily forgotten about, so immersed in conversation that it got pretty late. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. I violently scrubbed the plate. When I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. By the time I finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I realized it. As the heat had struck us all, the day dispersed. A nice breeze began to blow. Okay, everyone, can I have your attention? Coach got everyone together to make his closing remarks, and with that, another fun day drew to its close. In the end, Mio ended the game with a magnificent victory. Sadako and Rika, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterward, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things. People who betray others will want to be betrayed themselves. Never been more true, huh?
Well, you're not the one I wanted to hear that from, Keiichi! Rena didn't fall for anyone's tricks. That's how I got second! Rena doesn't buy into lies very easily. She has a sharp wit.
I'm surprised. She seems like she'd fall for the first lie to come to her way. That's why I love Rena. She's the best. Look at her. My smart girl. Funny you should say that, Kei-chan. You desire to prey upon others, and right away you became the prey instead. Make sure you don't fall for those dumb schemes that promise higher returns the more friends you rope in, okay? You mean the pyramid schemes? Yeah, I'll try harder. Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray anyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh together. It reminded me of how we were all such great friends.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to Keiichi's punishment game. However, can you really implement such a thing?
I would think the store manager would have a thing or two to say about it, no?
I wonder. Maybe Keiichi will be really cute. Cute! I kind of want to see. I am on the edge of my seat. I'll trip him up and make him wipe the floor.
That would be great. Why couldn't I win now of all times? Whatever, I think I'll definitely win today, and that I'll make someone else pay the punishment game. I lose! Is it not enough? Do I not believe hard enough in victory?
The wailing of the loser tastes like sweet honey. How sad, how sad. This is how you get stronger, Keiichi. It's like I'm looking at Mii-chan from last year.
Mii-chan from last year? What, does she always lose and moan about it in the past? How very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated President Mion was once like that. No need to talk about that! Mion hastily covered Rena's mouth. Everyone watching burst out laughing. Finally, Rika pulled on Sadako's sleeve.
Okay, we should be going soon. Oh yes, we must go shopping for dinner, mustn't we?
I wanted to keep talking like this forever, but it was getting late. We split up with Sadako and Rika and decided to get our way home. Alright, bye! See you tomorrow at school! Everyone waved to each other and split up for the short time between now and tomorrow.
Okay, let's go!
We began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. As the sun started to set, the afternoon's heat began to disappear as though it were never there. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget about how hot it had been today. Come to think of it, it's still June, huh? We didn't have a rainy season at all this year. Like all of a sudden, it's just summer, you know? And now that I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season of long rain, of hydrangeas and snails. I haven't seen a real rainy season since transferring here. According to the weather forecast, it's supposed to get more rainy during the first part of the week. They're warning people about heavy showers. I hope it doesn't run into Watanagashi.
That's right. The rainy season's supposed to be rainy. Rena likes all the rain in the rainy season.
What? So much rain makes me depressed. Hey, Kei-chan! Huh? I was a little spaced out, so I was late in answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way from skirting around the fact that he ran away from home, but I don't think it was so bad that Shion would need to feel mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. I felt like a child completely ignorant of what he was being scolded for, so my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in a very direct fashion. Sadako had a brother, right? Named Satoshi, I think? What? As soon as I said the name Satoshi, Rena and Mion both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? That's what they made me think. But I've already said it, so that's that. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested. What happened to Satoshi again? Did he move away? That was such a transparent way of putting it, but in my desire to know everything, I feign ignorance. Mion turned around and looked to Rena for assistance. Rena looked between us and quietly and softly spoke. Wait, did we not tell you? He transferred out! When I said those words to Shion, she got upset. So I answered her with the same words Shion had given me. Transferred? Who told you something like that? Huh? I had only intended to borrow Shion's words, but I said it in the exact same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my remark. If he really transferred here, there'd be records of it at school and stuff, right? But is there actually anything like that? Mion and Rena, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. I thought they were only hiding the fact that Sadako's older brother ran away out of consideration for her. I'm not trying to blame you for anything, okay? I just wanted to ask what happened to Satoshi, that's all. I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. No, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I'd lashed out in them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. This whole day had been so much fun. But now, why did I go and say something that made all that meaningless? I couldn't help but regret my own careless curiosity. That's enough. Let's drop it now. I was about to say that, Mion spoke up. Well, it's not like we were hiding it or lying. I hope you understand, that's not what we were trying to do. Mion's voice conveyed her genuine awkwardness. They sound like the excuses of a child who had been presented with evidence of her own mischief. Satoshi, well, he didn't transfer schools, Mion said, resigning herself. But I felt bad for pushing her to say that. So, it's okay, Mion. Let's just stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize. But right before that...
He won't come back.
What? Unlike Mion's stammered reply, Rena was extremely clear and resolute. He won't come back? What?
He won't come back home. Ever since that day.
He won't come back. That was a very strange way of putting it. Normally you would say he hadn't come back yet. At least I thought you'd only say it like Rena if he wasn't capable of coming back. You wouldn't say it when talking about someone who ran away from home. What do you mean he won't come back? Where did Satoshi go?
Don't know.
Rena's word choice felt very cold to me. It was so cold I couldn't muster a response right away. Well, she's right. After that day, Satoshi hasn't returned home. Mio noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up on what Rena had said. Well, that is, everyone in the village searched for him, and we even got the police to help us look. And, well, they started to think that maybe he ran away. Running away from home, I thought you were supposed to leave a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, he probably would have left some kind of letter apologizing to Sadako. That was just what kind of I figured. But the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home. The police did an investigation. Satoshi had been earning money at a part-time job and had put some aside, and they learned on that day he vanished. He withdrew it all, and then at Nagoya Station or something, they spotted someone who looked a lot like Satoshi. He withdrew all his savings to fund his escape from home. Was that it? It seemed consistent enough to me, but before I could say anything...
I think that's a lie. Satoshi didn't run away,
declared Rena shortly. Hey, wait, so if he didn't transfer schools or move away and he didn't run away from home, then what on earth... Stop it, Rena, Mion whispered to her. Rena, however, continued without interruption, and then she said this.
Because it was Oyashiro's curse.
Huh? A curse? It took some time before I understood what Rena meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little.
Satoshi talked to me before he disappeared. He said someone was watching him, stalking him. They even followed him home. He told me that when he went to bed, they were standing there at his bedside looking down at him.
Stop it, Rena!
It's a portent of Oyashiro's curse, there's no doubt. I think somewhere deep down, Satoshi was probably thinking about abandoning Hinamizawa and running away. And Oyashiro wouldn't allow that.
I said stop it.
Oyashiro is the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. He would never allow anyone to abandon Hinamizawa and run away. I apologize for it, but Satoshi probably didn't. It must have been Oyashiro's curse!
Oyashiro's curse? I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Oyashiro's curse.
The police may have said he ran away, but I don't believe it. I won't believe it, not ever! It's just a lie told by the self-important people in the village who don't want to admit it was the curse! And whether or not you believe in Oyashiro's curse, it's...
Mio struck Rena in the head, and not in a joking way either. I told you to give it a rest, didn't I? I tried to be nice, but you kept pushing me to my limits! Pushing her to her limits? Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at the moment. For a few moments after being hit, Rena looked astonished. Perhaps the voices of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind, because after a little while, she regained her normal calm expression. We arrived at the place where we always split up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. The voices of the Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. We'd always split up with Mion here, just leaving Rena and me. Hey, Kei-chan! Didn't I promise to lend you some manga? Want to come over real quick? Huh? She promised that? However, I quickly realized it was a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone.
Oh, I see. Okay then, Rena will go home.
Maybe she realized it. Maybe she didn't. Thankfully, Rena quickly said she'd go home before us. Bye, Rena! See you tomorrow!
Yep, see you tomorrow! Keiichi, don't be too much of a bother now. It's already evening.
I'm just going to borrow a few books. See ya! Considering the fun day we had, it was a very insipid, lonely parting. Hey, don't worry too much about before. After a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with Rena. No, not really. I think it was my fault anyway. We weren't trying to hide anything about Satoshi. It's just one of those things that we shouldn't mention, you know? At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. Judging by our odd interactions with Rena, I understood so well it hurt that I shouldn't ever talk about it again. Actually, if that's the case, then with Shion too. No, this is a bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. I shouldn't have been interested in it at all. But that's why I really had to think about it. About why everyone got so irritated. Idiot, stop this, Maibara Keiichi! By the time I tried to warn myself, I had accidentally spoken already. I won't ask ever again. So could you tell me honestly, what on earth happened to Satoshi? He ran away, right? For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally, unable to endure it any longer, she began to speak timidly. Have you ever heard about Oyashiro's curse? Just a little bit. I got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it, though. Oyashiro was the name of the deity protecting Hinamizawa that they worship at the shrine that we had the barbecue today. A few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Hinamizawa as part of the dam project. Okay, yeah, we know about that. Okay. Satoshi's dead parents. They were proponents of the dam project. Huh? Wasn't everyone in the village against it? Why on earth would they support the project if they lived here? Well, there was a lot of stuff going on, but not everyone agreed to stand up to the dam proposal. Satoshi's parents were basically the leaders of those who were all for it. Leaders of the ones for it? Sadako and Satoshi's parents? Yeah. The government had gathered a lot of compensation money to exchange for the construction of the dam. There were plenty of people who agreed with the proposal because they wanted money. Aside from a few households, Hinamizawa was in general not very affluent, and not because they were proud to inherit the land of their ancestors. It wouldn't be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life, but even in that case, they'd have to hesitate to say so given the situation. It just happened to be Sadako and Satoshi's parents who understood that and stood up to be their representative. By that standard, you might say Sadako and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. They volunteered to be hated, all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice. And then their parents had bad luck. They died in an accident on the day of the festival honoring Oyashiro. So people started to think that maybe it had been Oyashiro's curse. I thought back to what Coach told me today. So people thought even Satoshi's running away from home was because of Oyashiro's curse? Well, yeah, basically. It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt it was wrong to ask any further. I didn't press her for more details. I don't think I need to explain this, but for Sadako, her parents' accident and Satoshi's running away, and all this business about Oyashiro's curse, none of it's a very happy story, you know? Yeah, of course I knew. I could only nod silently. That's why we're not mentioning anything about Sadako's family. Even if someone asks about Satoshi, we just lie and say he transferred schools. You can understand why, right? They wanted to protect Sadako's happiness, her smile. As someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been imprudent enough to broach the topic to begin with. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry I asked something so careless. When she heard that, Mion smiled, seeming a little relieved. Without understanding, thinking that I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already late. I'd stop by again the next time I had the chance. Bye then, Mion. Sorry about today. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Goodbye. We waved to each other, and suddenly remembering something, Mion called out to me. Kei-chan! One more thing. Not only around Sadako. Could you keep quiet about Satoshi with Rena too? Huh? I think you realized it earlier, but for some reason when it comes to Oyashiro's curse, she gets extremely serious. Ever since she transferred here. Yeah, judging by how Rena was acting earlier, it was clearly no laughing matter to her. Mion had interrupted the conversation for us, but if Mion hadn't been there, what might have happened? Why would Rena be so serious about it? Not only Rena, but Shion too. I don't know. Rena is... Oh, this is a secret, okay? If you tell anyone, we're not friends anymore. Mion emphasized this as her expression clouded even further. I won't tell. What's this about Rena? She says she's been a victim of Oyashiro's curse before. Huh? Well, it may sound mean, but I think it might be a bad case of a persecution complex, or some kind of wrong assumption. But she says so herself, so I believe her. If I poke fun at it, she gets pretty upset. Rena jokes around all the time, but she's really scary when she's mad. I get it. Don't talk about it in front of Rena, right? About Satoshi? Yeah. If possible, I think we shouldn't talk about this ever again. For her sake. And for Sadako's. For everyone else's too. I must say, for your own sake too, Kei-chan. With her silence, Mio made sure I knew that. Yeah, okay, I got it. Thanks. Saying only that, she waved her hand and began walking away. I watched her go, a little dazed, and started walking myself. Sadako's older brother, Satoshi. Had he run away from home? Or had he been the victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever the case, none of this was anything I should have asked about. The cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Sadako to smile, yet my curiosity easily defeated me. I frivolously tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I'm shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow to be just as fun as today, too. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday. Today we had a blast at the big barbecue party, too. It was a lot of fun. But then I went and almost nullified all those fun times. I would have been more careful starting tomorrow. I'd put all this unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like how I'm gonna let my enjoyable life because of how careless I was today. But the more I thought that I'd be more careful starting tomorrow, the more I couldn't get rid of the ominous thought that I had already put an end to those enjoyable days with what I'd just done. Hey, wait. Calm down, my bar Keiichi. The gears of destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? What happened now is just trivial. It doesn't make any sense to think my life would be totally different starting tomorrow. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade until tomorrow turned out to be as fun as today. I'm acting weird. I'm thinking a little too much about the conversation. I wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted it to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. The night was long. Oh, and things now are gonna start going there. It's all going downhill. Also, there's another thing I'm worried about. Hopefully they only have, like, they keep only the towel and not the other stuff. That's what I'm worried about, so. The slacking manager. Shion, why don't you help out a little? Are you asking a girl to carry something heavy? This is why you still haven't found a nice lady at your age, coach. Well, you see, at times like these, here's what people say. Ahem, it's none of your business. He was loading the station wagon with heaps of equipment we'd use for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped were starting to get on their way. Alright, so Shion, why did you come all the way here? If you rode here on your bike, I can get you a lift. I did, but I'll be fine riding back. I appreciate your consideration. I was glad you came today. Things don't quite fit together without the manager here. Am I still the manager? I've been shirking my duty for an entire year, so maybe you should just fire such an incompetent manager already. Alright, if you say you want to quit, then I'll fire you whenever you want. Ugh, that's not fair! Let me go soon, please. Every time I don't show up at a game, I get those annoying phone calls, and I can't stand those. If you were more honest with yourself, Shion, you'd be far cuter. Your father is so sad. Where did he go wrong as to deserve such a rebellious daughter? Oh, perhaps if your father catches you in a big loving embrace, you'll open your eyes. Well then, don't mind if I do. What? Go away! Nothing's changed. You're still a weirdo, coach, and everyone's still as lively as ever, even though Satoshi isn't here. Is that what you wanted to say? He'll come home. I'm sure of it. He has someone waiting for him. Say whatever you want. He sure is cruel, isn't he? Going off to who knows where, leaving such a cute girlfriend behind. Huh? Girlfriend? Who? Who? Huh? Jeez, quit laughing already, coach! Well, we'll see each other again. Please come and root for us once in a while, okay? If I feel like it. I have no desire to be the manager anymore, after all. That's fine. If you don't like it, I'll fire you. I'm not the kind of person who likes to force people to do things against their will. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. You win this round. If I feel like it, I'll come root for you. So for today, just be patient. Oops, that time already? It's past time to return all this. I'm already making them wait for me. I'll be leaving for today then. Let's meet again the next game. Yes, if I feel like it. Goodbye, coach. The copy of the preliminary autopsy. Ow! I hurt my arm. Ow. The autopsy suggests the victim was killed in the following manner. The entire body was bound in restraints. This is the beginning. Traces left behind when the body seemed to have been bound indicated the uses of specific restraining table rather than rope or another common method. Finger joints on either hand appear to have been bound especially tightly. Highly likely the table was either specially made or homemade given this information. Both ears and nose severed with a sharp blade. Traces of the restraints and other things seem to suggest there is at least one or more other than the one who severed these body parts holding down the victim's head. Possible that the multiple blades were used, with one of them being the most likely being scissors or shears. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand. 1 long nail stuck in each joint of each finger on each hand for a total of 30. The deceased's fingers were nailed to the wooden planks, 20 square centimeters large. Extremely likely these planks were part of the restraining table. In addition, it is likely the table was originally designed for such a purpose. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. The incision in the abdomen is likely to have been a technique grounded in the medical mythology using a sharp blade. Estimated there is still no threat to the victim's life at this age. After this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. The victim likely died as a result of this process. Body disposed. After fastening a dumbbell to the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the Oji River's third drain. Judging by the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible they would have needed at least 3 grown men to dispose of the body. Toishi hears the copy of the preliminary autopsy at the slaughtered corpse in the Oji River. Chief Shigeharu sees this as a possible relation to the S group. What are your thoughts, Oishi? Probably Sonozaki. East Round 3. There it is. Roan, 3 Chun, 3 Dora, Mangan with 1500 extra. They're playing Mahjong. What? What's up with that? How do you have 3 Dora? You idiot. You're the one who flipped over another Kandora when you knew Oishi was in Tenpai. That's what you get. Getting more Dora was the only thing I could do after revealing the Chun. You can't discard a Dora tile after a Yakuhai is out. Oishi grinned meaningfully as his buddy's swearing had been breaking down the walls and reforming them. By the way, I used to play Mahjong a little, but I don't really know much about it because I don't remember, because I used to play it as a kid because my sister taught me, but I forgot all the rules. And I still have a Mahjong set, but that's it. By the way, Oishi, figure it out yet? What? Oh, the murder body in the drainage channel. Any news clues? Yep. You're the one collecting the evidence here. I should have expected that. Who was the deceased? Mamiya Rina. Actual name Noriko. Apparently, she worked for the Blue Mermaid, a hostess bar on the Shishibone Flower Road. Wow, that place, huh? A young leader of the Sonozaki owns it, yeah? Sonozaki? Whoops, so that's related to the S group. That mountain will be tough to scale. Rumors say the deceased had her hands in both drug dealing and money to be paid to the government, on the pretty significant scale too, from what I've heard. A woman getting her hands on Yakuza tax money. Sounds like a man's behind it. Not a lot of women do that sort of thing themselves. Well, she's dead now. The dead can't have anything to do with it. About that, Oishi, her man's apparently alive. Alive? Then maybe he'll die soon. Vermin usually exterminate other vermin. I think we have a very nice self-cleansing system going on. Anyway, her man, it's, well, Hojo Teppei. Hojo? Who's that? Teppei Hojo. The husband of the housewife who's beaten to death last year in Hinamizawa. I heard he disappeared after the incident, though. I get it. He was staying at his lover's place, huh? And so the Sonozakis grow ever more suspicious. Where's he now? He's living in a woman's apartment. He must have thought she abandoned him, so he's just searching around shops and other gathering places. Uh-oh. Oops! I accidentally did that thing! Okay, so we already saved, so we're gonna stop right there. Alright. Okay. Thanks for people who showed up or something. I'm just reading for fun, because it's the one thing that makes me the happiest. Alright, bye-bye!